Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to another meal prep video. I actually haven't meal prepped since I think before my vacation in August. This week for breakfast prep, I am making a breakfast bake that I found from Meal Prep on Fleek. And for lunch, it is buffalo chicken rice bowls from Skinny Taste. If you're new to my channel, I follow the Weight Watchers program, so I do share the Weight Watcher points, but I also try to give calories as well. As always, all the recipes I share will be linked down in the description box below, as well as some of the items that I use, such as my meal prep containers and things like that. I try to put links for those as well. Also, if you're new, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Planning Us Healthy family. So now let's jump into this week's meal prep. All right, for breakfast this week, I found a super easy recipe. This one is from Meal Prep on Fleek. I actually found this on Instagram. There's a little video. I will link that down below. But this is very easy. You're just using hash browns, some chicken sausage and eggs, and then seasonings. That's it. This is super easy. Seems very similar to my breakfast bowls that I usually make. I'm gonna be making enough for 6, 3 for me, 3 for my husband. I'm gonna have the equivalent of 2 eggs in each one. So I'm just putting 12 eggs into a measuring cup, and then I'm just gonna add in some seasonings, and they recommend salt, pepper, parsley, and red pepper flakes. The next thing I'm doing is just cutting up some chicken breakfast sausage. This is just chicken breakfast sausage that I get from Aldi. They really don't say anything on the recipe as far as what kind of sausage to use. It does look like they're using the regular chicken sausage, which is bigger, not necessarily the breakfast sausage, but you use whatever you want to use. So it calls for 2 cups for a serving of 4. I'm just cutting up 2 packages of these. And then the other thing we need is some hash browns. So these are the frozen hash browns that I get from Aldi. So what I've done is just put these in the microwave just to thaw them out a little bit. So now I've sprayed the bottom of my meal prep containers with a little bit of cooking spray, and I'm putting half a cup of the hash browns down in the bottom of each one. I'm going to top that with half a cup of the sausage, and then the equivalent of about 2 eggs with the seasoning. I'm going to top that with some mozzarella. I'm just using a little bit of fat-free mozzarella, but use whatever cheese you prefer. I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup in each one. Now these are going in the oven. I'm going to bake them for 15 to 18 minutes or until the eggs have cooked all the way through. Okay, so I just took these out. They're very hot. I actually ended up putting them on for just another 2 minutes. I really don't like to overcook eggs, but they were still pretty kind of a little bit liquidy on the top. So again, everybody's oven is different. So I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'll just put the tops on them, put them in my fridge, and then we'll have these for the next 3 days. What I'll do to heat them is just heat them in the microwave for maybe about 2 minutes. I'll probably just kind of chop it up to heat it so that it heats evenly. So for the points and calories on these, they are going to be about 6 points and 375 calories. Prep this week, I'm making a Skinny Taste recipe. This is buffalo chicken rice bowls. That's what it looks like. It looks so good. So for this, on her website, it has that it makes 4 servings, but you can up it on her website. So I just upped it to 6. So these are the equivalent of 6 servings. So I have in here about 32 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken breast that I've just cut up into little pieces. And then we also need about 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil, about 3/4 cups of diced red onion. In here, I have a mixture of 3/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, 3/4 teaspoon of cumin, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit less than that. In here, I have 1.5 cups of black beans that are, I just use the canned kind, and I just drained and rinsed them real well. In here, I have 3/4 cup of buffalo sauce. In her recipe, she uses Frank's, which is usually what I use, but this time I'm using the Berman brand that's from Aldi. Back there, I have 3/4 cup of part skim. I'm using Mexican. She says cheddar cheese, but I just had Mexican, so that's what I'm using. And then I have about a 1/2 cup of scallions or green onion. And also the other thing I need is 4.5 cups of brown rice. So she recommends 3/4 cup for each serving. So if that's too much rice for you, you want to back off on it, you definitely can do that. So I've already got my rice cooked. I'm just using the instant brown rice that I get from Aldi. So made the way that she makes it, this comes out to 6 points and about 485 calories, but it has almost 50 grams of protein in it. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is get my red onion chopped up. And like I said, we only need about 3/4 of a cup, but use however much you want. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and put my rice into the bottom of my meal prep containers. Since it's already cooked, I'm just gonna divide it into my meal prep containers. That way I can use this pan to cook the onion. And as you can see, I'm using divided meal prep containers. That's because I already used my single ones for the breakfast, so this is all I have. But I think this is gonna be fine because I'm gonna put everything in the one side, and then on the other side, I may just put the cheese on the side so we can kind of melt it over the top of it. So I'll show you at the end. I actually end up swapping these out. I end up putting the breakfast bake into my round meal prep containers, and then that way I can put the lunch all into one container. So I will show you that in just a little bit. So I heated my oil over medium-low heat, and I'm just adding the onions and just gonna cook those until they've caramelized a little bit. It should take about 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna add the black beans, the paprika, the cumin, and the salt, and then just stir that to combine and heat it through for about 3 to 4 minutes. While that's cooking, I'm gonna heat another skillet over high heat. I'm gonna spray it with some cooking spray and add my chicken. And I'm just gonna cook that until it's browned and cooked through in the center. Should only take about 5 minutes with cutting it up like this. And then I'll just keep flipping it while I'm cooking it. Now I'm gonna set the chicken aside in a bowl and I'm gonna toss it with that hot sauce. Now to serve these, I'm gonna top it with about 1/4 cup of the beans and onion over the top of the rice. And then I'm gonna divide the chicken over the top of that. And then at this point, if you wanted to put the cheese on top, you could. I think I'm just gonna put the cheese and the green onion in the other compartment, and then we can decide if we wanna put that on, if we wanna melt that on, or just kind of sprinkle it after we heat them. And that's all there is to these. I'm gonna let them cool, cover them, and then these will go in my refrigerator. You can usually refrigerate any meal prep for maybe up to 4 days. That's why I only do 3 days for me and 3 days for my husband, because I really don't like to meal prep farther out than that. And then to reheat these, you just reheat them in the microwave. All microwaves are different. In her recipe, it says 3 minutes or until heated through. The microwave I have at work will not take 3 minutes. It will probably only take about 2. So again, those are the buffalo chicken rice bowls. Those are about 6 points and 485 calories. All right, I'm gonna throw together just some individual carrots and some of this classic ranch. This is the Boathouse Farms. For this, you're gonna have 1 tablespoon for 1 point. So I'm gonna put like 2 tablespoons into each of these containers. Typically for my snacks, I really have, honestly, fruits, vegetables, yogurt, and cottage cheese. That's pretty much the staples that I've just always enjoyed for snacks. So I'm just gonna throw these in here, and then this way I can just take them to work with me and snack on these throughout the day. And I'm just gonna do 2 of them because I don't necessarily eat these every single day. And I'm gonna weigh this out. So it is 2 tablespoons is 30 grams. And then I'll just kind of eyeball it. I may just have like half of the carrots and half of this. So if that's the case, then obviously I'd just count it as a point. So like I said, in addition to the carrots, I have some grapes and some apples and bananas. These are the cottage cheese that I use, 2 points and 120 calories. And then the Chobani Zero Sugar Yogurt is 1 point and 60 calories. And look what I ended up doing. I ended up swapping out and putting the breakfast bake into these bowls, which are actually the bowls that I use for my breakfast bowls when I make them. So I just cut it in half and just kind of stuck those in there. And then that way I was able to take the lunch and just put it all into one. So I just mixed it all together, and then I put the cheese and the green onions over the top. And Now it actually looks so much better for a picture anyway. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one.